Hey guys, it's Will. So QBTS D-Wave soared about 13% today, which is quite the increase from what we've seen over the past few weeks. It's really been consolidating, but it just did this big move today. Let's get into it. So those of you guys that would like to watch me trade live at Market Open and see us tomorrow morning at Market Open, we go live every day inside of StockMate. If you'd like to join us, it's the second link down below. So we had this previously mapped out support and resistance from D-Wave that it's been consolidating in basically from mid-January for an entire month. But just recently it started to develop a new trend, and you can see that it broke out today. It pushed up above this resistance yesterday and then validated it kind of as a support and started to push up. Now it's into this next level here. You can see this previous support, previous supports, and previous resistance there that it's kind of playing with. We'll see how it kind of reacts. It's not a strong resistance, but we'll see, because from here, the next level is up to about $8 a share here, and it could make its run to continue the pattern upwards. Two trends are starting to develop. We'll get into the market analysis in a basically A, B, and C is the chart, the financials, and news, and then we'll wrap things up with a profit plan moving forward. So as you can see here, there's two trends that start to develop. There's the overall trend. So if we just kind of go back here in time and we drop this down to a time frame that's a little more clear to see, and we kind of look here, this is where it was about 80 cents before going up to $11 just in a matter of a few months from November until December 30th. And if we just kind of draw the trend and how it was, how it looks right now, there is some value to fill here if it gets back to previous highs. We could see from here, this is a trend potentially that we could see if it does reach highs, that'd be about a 50 to 60% increase. This is a company that's very small and it's getting momentum in the quantum computing space. This is a market that's growing tremendously. We learned at CES that this is a market that's around $100 to $200 billion and is expected to grow up to 3 to 5 trillion over the next few years. I mean, that was quite the projection from Microsoft. We heard from IBM as well. IBM recently did $1 billion in their reported revenue of their quantum computing, sector. So as you can see, there's that trend, the overall trend. And then there's also a trend that's starting to develop here just in the past few days. You can see this right here, this trend of that it's starting to push up and begin to possibly start to trend. We'll see if it sells back down. You can see the RSI, the MACD do look overextended. They look overbought. We could see it possibly sell back down. But some of these rallies that lasted days on end here through December were just continually increasing. And right now, there's not a huge resistance that it will get rejected at. So let's take a look at the news. There's a couple things. There's a three-part analysis. We know the market's growing. Let's take a look at D-Wave. Just a friendly reminder, if you guys want to stay up to date with D-Wave, stay up to date with the quantum computing space, we're going to be going to Qubits 2025, which is an event in Scottsdale, Arizona, next month. Is that next month? End of next month. Yeah, March 31st. We already have our tickets. I think it's an Airbnb or we're staying at a resort. I'm not quite sure. I got to talk to Tammy and what's going on there. But if you guys want to learn about how real-world quantum applications are being implemented across logistics, manufacturing, government, life sciences, financial services, how this company is plugging into businesses, I'm going to be there in Scottsdale. I think it's a great event to go check out. We're not sponsored by them. I just find their tech to be quite interesting, and this is what we cover because we're passionate about it. So what we're thinking about with D-Wave is that they're a little bit different than most quantum computing companies. They have some approaches that have given them some advantages. One of the things is if you want to use this quantum computing company, you can apply, you can click get started and kind of apply right now to use it. They have a 3-month trial period for using their quantum computers over the internet. They have their own kind of setup where you can plug in directly on their sites, and they're pretty adamant about working in building quantum applications. And that's all cool, but you could also look at their some of their partners. If you go into their company, you can see who they work with. Let's see what they got. Optimization, systems, quantum. You could see quantum computing today. They're working with food group there. They got some coherent quantum annealing in programmable 2000 qubit icing chain. That's how you say it. Get started today. You can see they have their cloud. But what I was getting at, you can see here where they have their quantum computers. They have some really big contracts. They recently announced successful completion of a $175 million at-market equity offering. I think it was around $8 a share. Oh no, this one was actually back in December. That was a $5 a share, almost average. But the reason I bring this up, and you can look at some of their partnerships that they have. They're deep in the industry. They're connected with businesses, and they have the potential to be a big player. And the reason why is they're offering their own quantum computing spot where you can tap into the company through here, through the quantum computers. I can use this. Now, something's looking weird there, but if I go over to, for example, let's say AWS, a lot of these quantum computing companies, you tap into them or you use the quantum computers like Rigetti or what have you through AWS. So there's a third party. AWS is a big data place that basically houses large companies, including Amazon, but including Netflix and even Robinhood, hosts all their data here on AWS. And you've probably seen AWS as a large place where they host data. That's kind of an advantage that Rigetti is there and these companies are there because it's easy plug and play and most people are already using the platform. You can see that over on Microsoft or Google as well. But not all these companies have the ability for you to plug in directly to them and use the quantum computers through the actual website. And so I think that's going to be something that separates them as a company, that they're becoming more self-sustainable. The other place outside of qubits that they will be at is, I believe it's this quantum computing track of NVIDIA. Let's see. NVIDIA Quantum. You can find their event that is coming up on March 20th that I don't see. Let's see. NVIDIA events 2025. March 18th to March 21st. And you can see some of the companies that are there. And I believe D-Wave is going to be there as well. And so that's kind of interesting because if they're going to be jumping into quantum, you can see AWS, Google Cloud. You got Supermicro is a notable, the biggest players in the world are there. But I was reading somewhere about the agenda. I was reading about what companies were there, and I believe that one of the companies that's going to be there is D-Wave. And so they got fundamentals, accelerated data science. There's a lot of really good resources. If you guys plan on attending, let me know. I may be at this event, so would love to see you there. And anyway, if you look through it, I'm like 95% sure. I don't have the exact link, but they are going to be there. And so what I wanted to jump into with D-Wave is if you look at the company's financials and you look at how they're coming into their shell and or breaking out of their shell, they're starting to get traction in partnerships, but their financials, while they're maybe slightly improving if you go back a few quarters, their revenue is still $2 million while their net income is negative 17. So they're not really turning a profit. They're very adamant that after that big quantum crash, that they are working with companies that their tech is being used today. But one of the things that you'd like to see is like some of the revenue increase. You do see year over year improvements and stuff in 2024, and it looks green. But like when you look at overall this EPS and the revenue, it's been down. And so we'll see if they turn that around. We're going to be watching these closely. I'm not in QBTS at the moment, but this trend is interesting because if it recovers back, that could be a really big move. We've been trading Rigetti and what have you. So I'm going to be watching it closely. One thing to realize, guys, is that the quantum computing space is in the near term highly volatile. It's going to fluctuate 10, 20% in a day, and it's not uncommon to see QBTS up 13% today. Some of the moves that we like to take advantage of are the dips at market open because they're quite prominent and they happen almost every day. Sometimes it takes longer for that sell-off to continue before recovering, so they can get tricky, and you want to really watch for confirmation, be looking at the moving averages. I like to look at those indicators. But outside of all the nitty-gritty like short-term trading and stuff, and looking at these companies from catching the swings and this big volatility that we're seeing, the long-term potential seems to be promising for AI, because AI is one of these once in a lifetime types of opportunities. And it's kind of like if you were someone that was figuring out how to create engines, and it just so happens that at the same time you have the automotive boom of 2000 or of the 1920s, and now automotive's starting to become a thing, and you've already been like trying to figure out engines for a few years, let's say. This is how I feel about quantum computing. I feel like there is a massive opportunity for these companies to, as they're building these technologies that are able to not only be more efficient than large clusters of GPUs and do it at such a large scale problem in such a small actual physical computer. I think that what we're missing about quantum computers, as opposed to when we have that engine example with cars, is like, imagine you have the car starting to become a thing, and the engine company also has like the best transmissions too. And so like if you have the engines really good and the transmissions, then when the car boom comes, you're in a really good position in the 1920s, right? So let's say that's one thing. So we're looking at quantum computers. If you have the quantum computers good and you have your software good, then that's a really good position to be in. Because what is the car? You might be saying, what's the car of 2025? It's AI. Because as AI starts to be used by every person, I'm using it more and more on a daily basis. I don't know about you guys. I feel like it's more rare than it should be that people aren't using ChatGPT or things like that every day, because it helps so much with like day-to-day tasks, or even answering, writing, trying to figure out things to do in your daily life or your business, or even investing in some of the cases that we use it. And when we look at this opportunity of quantum, it seems like AI is the car, and these companies are making the engines. And not only are they making the engines, D-Wave also is doing a lot of software and building their own cloud. So I think that could be possibly something that would make them built to last in the long term as a quantum computing company. Because when AI comes, the quantum computers are about as useful as whatever AI and classical computer you use with it. So like, you can have a quantum computer, that means nothing if you don't also have an AI to feed answers through it, and have this iterative process that you could work on, or have a classical computer with it, because you have to run in tandem with an AI and a classical computer with the quantum computer. And if you have those types of connections with software, so you're also thinking about how quantum computers are connecting to the software, and that's kind of the equivalent of when cars were coming along, like the fuel lines and the spark plugs or things like that. Like there's also these little components of the quantum industry, like software, like how you integrate through the cloud, how easy it is to use your quantum computer from afar, or do you have to be there right in person? Is it integrating with classical computers easy? Is it going to be something that's at the big show where anybody can buy it, which in this case would be like Rigetti with AWS, or IONQ with AWS, or Microsoft? in Microsoft's cloud. It's like everybody kind of goes to the car show and they could see the cars. D-Wave is like, we're creating our own car show, and we're creating our own engine and our own our own transmission, and like, come run your AI with our quantum computer and see what you can accomplish. And I think that's really cool. So I see a lot of potential in this company in the future, and that's why I like to cover it with you guys. One of my biggest things when covering quantum computing stocks is that you guys are able to walk away with more valuable information. So if you have valuable information yourself that you've been learning from other videos or from your own readings, drop them in the comment section below so I can dive deeper. And I would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are about these companies. Maybe you're really in the techie side of things and you're looking at all the qubits and how some quantum computing companies have an advantage over others in the tech side or in the software side. Or maybe you're looking at it from, the moving averages on the charts, or maybe you're looking at their financials. But everybody has like different angles that they come into the conversation when it comes to analyzing stocks and different companies, and share where you're coming from and what seems to be catching your attention. If you're watching this video, you're most likely passionate about some aspect of this company. And if you have something that you've been consistently looking at that you think would help other people to be able to achieve their goals and to be able to learn more about the company or be more well-informed, then make sure to drop in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit that like button. Do consider subscribing. Would love to see you in our live session tomorrow at Market Open. If you'd like to join us, it's the second link down below. That's StockMe. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.